Personal log 5/10/24, 3:33 a.m. I am losing my mind. I have been running my brain in circles, running myself ragged, hunting down this fucking case. I don't even know if I can call it a case anymore. The only case that's here is my fucking brain. I'm ping-ponging between an utter lack of hope and manic abandon of safety. I'm just going to read some of the things in my journal that I've had past, literally the past week. 5/3/24. How do you fight when there are no soldiers, when the enemy is millions of miles away? When none of the combatants permanently die, but they still suffer all the same. Their civilian lives on the line, prisoners of war held hostage inside the very machines we need to destroy. I'm in a race against the clock, and even the people on my side don't care. They know about this weapon, and yet they feed it because it gives them shiny trinkets. Because they can, and they don't think the end will ever come. I'm afraid of obliteration, and I can't stop it alone. I don't know what to do. I mean, what even happens when everything is gone in a world where nothing stays dead? Do we just float in the void? Do we infinitely fall downward even with nothing to create gravity? Do we forever die in resin space, suffocating from air lack? Nothing comes after the end, but I don't know if deletion's the same. I'm afraid of it. 5/4/24. I think I realize I'll never stop fighting. I love this story, this entire world. It's too beautiful to lose. I don't know anything else. I've mapped every meter to memory. I'm obsessed with the way that it surprises me. I'm scared. I don't want to lose everyone. I don't know what'll be left after obliteration. What happens when everything around us is gone and we can't stay dead? That's why I fight. I think that if I'm a nuisance long enough, just long enough, we'll find a way to stop it. I'm buying time for someone smarter than me to come along and find us a way out. I don't know who it is. I don't even know if they're real. And the more I think about it, the more I realize they probably aren't. I'm fighting alone. I'm scared. I know there's no expectation for me to be brave, but I still feel like I'm betraying the role of Arisen by being scared. I don't know why I'm even writing this down. I know that Bale probably has access to this document. It's set in its ways, it's fully ready to die for its cause. Everything's going to be deleted, then it won't be spared. And unless that hasn't dawned on it, or the witness has a plan, it goes on and does it anyways. There's no convincing the enemy. I wish there was, but there's not. I'm not strong enough to fight alone. I'm not giving up, but I don't know how to accept defeat. Alright. And then a couple of days pass. 5/9/24. It's after our hope, our morale, the one force that keeps us fighting despite the constant death. Do we exist just to give symmetry to a twisted mirror? What point is there in war if nobody wins? Samsara of cut sinew and crushed bone. Null Ouroboros. War without reason. And we'll fight all the same, because surrender is the only true way to lose. What even are these feelings? Anger, premature grief, fear of the end. And for what? The Vanguard's focus is divided, distracted from the true enemy. They're diverting resources to fight a pack of punks who will burn themselves out sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, I'm the only one, besides me, Sedex Kell and HKR1, fighting Bale and Agazir. Our guns are on the wrong target. I'm not going to waste my ammo. There's no point in fighting Demix. His forces will hemorrhage into house light or go back dusk. He's a cocky fool, acting Kell at a playground. We just need to hold the line against the Khazir and track down Bale. We need to find and destroy that super weapon because we can't kill him. I just would rather not be fighting alone. I'm only one man and I can't hold back the dark by myself, no matter how much I lie. Perhaps the fun of it all is trying to find something different. Sometimes there is nothing. Don't overthink it. I'm afraid of when there's nothing. Of when everything's gone, because fighting this thing has been consuming me. I've been down in the complex for months. I don't know anything else anymore. I tried to do something else and it always comes back to this. I need this to be over. I need Bale dead, or else the system and myself will never know peace. I'm finishing this goddamn fight. I'm nothing if I'm not dedicated. I'm seeing this through. I'm not letting Bale win. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. But that goddamn cat is going to fucking knock that shit off, and he's not gonna delete Lower Soul. At least if I have any say in it, which I probably don't. I've yet to prove my right to exist. I just exist because nothing can die. I don't have any proper reasoning for exist, but honestly, at this point, what reason is there to exist other than to evade reason? This 31124. Who cares how it started? Who cares how it's going? Nothing will matter in the end except that beautiful final shape. A story told, a seed planted by an uncaring narrator, an uncaring gardener. There is no purpose except to evade purpose. Evade death as it claims all that lives. Prove your right to exist by ending that which strives to end you. Do not sate that which hungers for war. I've tried to hold that true in my heart, but at this point, we are at war and there's no denying it. There's only one way that tithe routes from lower to higher soul, and it's with that cursed ammo. I haven't fired a single fucking shell of it since I learned. And I'm not about to break that trend. Unfortunately, I'm the only one who seems to actually know that shit and actually care about it. Every bullet purchased thus builds that machine more and more. That machine needs to be destroyed. We need to find a way to break out of this death loop. And once we're out, finally put a fucking bullet in that goddamn disciple's head. Put this all behind us. I can finally fucking sleep. Nearing 4 a.m. and my mind is running in circles. This happens over and over and over again, and I don't know anything else. I can't know anything else until I don't have to worry. Because I'm worried that one day I'm going to clamber out of my nest in the rafters and I'm going to realize that everything's gone and that I lost. That everyone I loved is either dead or just floating out in space. And quite frankly, I don't want to deal with that because that is a terrifying possibility. There are three main opponents right now: Bill, Akazir, and Demix. Demix is a fucking crazy anarchist punk who just doesn't like the city. He's like, how's salvation if they had meth instead of stasis? Bale and Akazir are actual proper threats. Demix is just a fucking weirdo in a back alley with a shiv. He's got a fucking ragtag group of machines and half-armed Elixni who are trying to make their way in the world, but unfortunately, um, there already is an option and they have denied it. The options for them are join House Light or struggle. The doors are open. Our arms are open. We can negotiate peace if they wish it. But if they're so set in their ways, then I guess they'll stay in their ways. Meanwhile, Kazir is a fucking enigma. He shows up, dumps a metric shitload of subjugators and grims on Io, and then fucks off. And we haven't seen him since. We don't even know what he's doing. Like, I was reading through the transcript logs about all the things that we know about Akazir. Any dialogue that we have about him doesn't seem to be progressing the final shape. He doesn't seem to have that goal in mind. It's just rampant chaos. It's being an inconvenience. Whenever we encountered him on the Umbraxis, he was just, this is the convergence of light and dark. Whoever wins, wins. And then he failed. He fell in the ocean. He probably died, but because of the rules of Lower Soul, he didn't stay dead. And then he just tried using trickery, and he tried destroying us from the inside during the dawning. And that failed too. And now he's stealing plans from Bale. He's stealing the fucking blueprints for the Cruxes and deploying them wherever he sees fit to cause the most trouble. I don't know why he chose Io when there were a grand total of 5 people awake, but is what it is. And then Bale, the one that we actually know the intentions of and what he's actually doing. Demix, don't really know what he's doing, don't really care. Akazir, don't know what he's doing, really do care because he's a bit of a problem. Bale. Glimmer builds super weapon. Once super weapon is done, he is vaporizing the entirety of Lower Soul. I don't know what he means by that. Is he just going to press a button and poof, everything's gone? Is it a massive laser that's just going to shoot across the cosmos? Like, what's going on here? I don't know the function of the machine. I don't know what's going on. But, in the meantime, every bullet that's fired that's bought from an LCM machine, any kill goes straight to Zivu in the higher plane, which honestly doesn't really make much sense, because Zivu failed by her own law. Intel from the higher plane is limited, but from what I can understand, is Eris became a hive god, evicted Zivu and then quit being a hive god. She was the god of vengeance, and she didn't take vengeance, therefore denying her own rule. But Zivu is disconnected from her throne world. She's still the god of war, but she just doesn't have connection to tithe. She doesn't have connection to immortality. She's mortal in higher soul, which means that the guardians of higher soul will handle her sooner than later. Meanwhile, the resident in Lower Soul, we have our own problems. And Bale's right about one thing. Every time he checks in on us, there's less and less of us running around. That also means he's getting less and less glimmer, though he's probably just scavenging for it at this point. I mean, he's strong enough to get it, he's just lazy. He wants someone else to do it for him. And then we also have the anomaly about Extrasia manifesting, which, okay. I'm glad to know she's still in the fight. I mean, I doubt she'd want Lower Soul obliterated because she doesn't exactly have a mirror and higher soul. I mean, her mirror could possibly be not Ziva, Zeta, the mother worm, but the mother worm is the thing that produces all the maggots that are crawling inside of the hive. Extrasia is just a warden. She makes sure that time flows smoothly and regularly. Unfortunately, actually, no, it's likely correlation, not causation. She shows up whenever there are time anomalies, and then shortly after her appearing, they go right back to normal. Probably her actually appearing to fix things. Why there are time anomalies happening in the first place is a weird question. But I think Lalravo's report today might have an answer. Earlier today on the farm, a strange chassis Vex Minotaur appeared and was very quickly dispatched. It was a singular Minotaur with a very old frame. The only place that I know that those frames were still fronted, as far as I was aware, was a singular lost sector on Nessus. Though when I arrived, Laravo and I discovered that the frame there had been replaced by what seemed like a miniaturized Gate Lord. The name was still the same, Thrajan, but the frame was different, which means that it had a different purpose. Vex frames are dedicated to different purposes. Minotaurs are construction, and I believe Hydras are data processing. Well, most Vex are construction frames. The only ones that aren't are the Wyverns and Higher Soul, the Chicken Walkers. But in Lower Soul, it's all construction Vex. Hydras are simulation engines, mobile simulation engines. Though the fact that the Vex that attacked the farm was using an older frame makes me question some things. I've yet to investigate Io properly. I investigated Nessus and found a couple of weird things out of bounds, but honestly, it was just remnants from lost sectors that have yet to been implemented. Remnants of things that don't yet exist. Yay, I love talking in circles. You can see how this is getting to me. It's 9 minutes till 4 in the morning. I I've been talking for almost 20 minutes now, and I doubt anyone's going to listen to any of it. The beginning was literally just me reading diary entries. Now it's me rambling about what's going on in Higher Soul. I sound like a news reporter who's on his last fucking leg. I would say I'm losing my goddamn mind, but at this point, I think that ship has long since sailed. It's more like a fly has flown its way through my helmet and into my brain cavity, where there should be a brain, but there isn't. It's just empty, so it's ping ponging around like a screensaver. And the buzzing is what's driving me nuts. An outside influence making its way in and just. What's the deal with Puck? Like, this motherfucker has been just there this whole time, and nobody has an explanation for him. From what I can tell, it is a singular organism, right? And again, chitin is completely unpierceable. I can't collect biological samples if I wanted to. Singular organism, not blind despite appearances, so might possibly have some form of compound eyes that just blend flush into its face, or it uses heat sensing pits like a snake, but it has holes in its body. It's got blades for arms and legs. It possibly echolocates, out of that, or it's just signaling a hunting gambit, which implies being able to socialize with others of its species. If there are even others of its species, who knows if it's a singular individual or not. Don't know what it feeds on. Possibly just ambient radiation, because like it doesn't have any form of a mouth, which also makes the question of how it makes noises a little bit more confusing. But it could just be some kind of resonance chamber in its chest. So I don't know. It's just down there. I don't know why it's down there, but it is. And I honestly kind of feel bad for the damn thing. It's just, surely it's just bored out of its mind being stuck in there, right? I mean, it's not like it can even explore the rest of the complex. It's just stuck in that one maze. I'm surprised it hasn't torn the walls open and tried to clamber out into the void or something. I don't know. I want to know more about it, but I doubt I'll ever get answers. The only person who seems to know anything about the complex is Bale, and he's not exactly forthcoming with information about anything. Um, the place doesn't exactly abide by space and time rules, so I doubt Extrazio would have any information. The only other people who've actually been in there are Akazir, whenever he stole Puck that one time, and apparently 4 Euro scouts. Um, One time I was able to break into the Nebulous Labyrinth, and it's a section of the complex, a very, very old section of the complex. And Forge Euro has scouts in there. And that's probably how they had the communications about Puck being stolen whenever the Splicer ship was going on. But again, the Olorant of Forge Euro aren't going to be giving up that information, at least not willingly, and I don't exactly speak Olorant, so I don't know how to read it, even if I did get the information. And I'd probably get yelled at by Kydal for stealing information. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Maybe the Nebulous Labyrinth, once I'm able to explore it in full glory, will have more information. But for now, what I did see had a grand total of fuck all, except for a bunch of Taken, which were probably left over whenever Akazi are broken. Or because of Bale, because, darkness, witness, bullshit. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm losing it, man. I'm fucking losing it. Like, HKRO1 has been collecting some information, but it's infrequent. And I understand that he has a life. I just don't. I don't have a life. Like, outside of this case, I literally have nothing going for me. I'm just kind of existing. I don't know. Maybe it's good that this fight keeps on going. I just need to survive to be stronger. But it also keeps me entertained. It keeps me busy. It keeps me from staying up at 4 in the morning and writing down my thoughts, or transcribing my thoughts into a signal that no one would ever listen to. But since Bale hasn't made any moves, and Akazier is still MIA, and Demix is still MIA, and Extracia is still MIA, and that one stupid fucking monitor is MIA, everything is just gone. Nothing is going on. Fuck. I need a fucking drink. Misery out.